Hello, my people. How are you doing? From everywhere where you are, it's nice to have you on my channel today. This is Tech with Oluwadamilola, and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do me a favor that I will ever be grateful to. That you should ensure that you smash the subscription button down below, then also make sure you turn on the notification bell so that every time I post content on game development and also make money online, you can always be notified and you can always get it firsthand. And in the effort to also share this video, it will do a great good. And also my channel is dedicated to secondary school, primary school students, pupils, and teachers, school owners, parents, and youths, and people that are looking at entering into game development and also making money from it. So this is going to do you a whole real good, because I'm going to be taking it from the bottom down to the top. And if you have not watched my previous video in any of my videos, then you need to always watch it, because it's going to be a step ahead of the previous video. This is going to be my first video. Ensure that you smash the like button and also subscribe to my channel, so that immediately I drop my next video, which is going to be the part 2 of this video, you can be able to get the notification on time, then also continue your development process. Who is speaking with you today? My name is Oluwadamilola Taiwo, and I'm always called by my students Mr. Dami. I'm a graduate of computer science with diploma and degree at Mochuda Abiola Polytechnic and also University of Ibadan, respectively. One of the best talented school instructor when it comes to tech. Very soon, one of these days, I'm going to be sharing my story, how I became a tech instructor and what is really my vision in this particular career. But with my all about me, you understand how far I've gone. I'm a born teacher and a word impact. I enjoy teaching tech. I have had the experience of 6 years teaching programming, and also an experience of 3 years plus teaching Scratch programming languages, a basic instructor. Then with a lot of projects on all devices, talk of tablets, talk of smartphones like iOS operating devices, which is iPhones, and also Android operating devices, which is the likes of Infinix, Techno, and likes like that. Then also desktop, TV games, and all of that. I've been able to design games for all of these devices. I've trained over 8,000 students physically in tech courses, which includes even teachers, school owners, trainers, students, peers, even parents in this particular course. And today I am going to be moving using my channel into the global space, whereby I'll be able to explicitly explain what game development is, not only to Nigerians but also to the continent at large. So I welcome you once again. I love you greatly, and I know that God loves you too. I love you with the love of Christ. Let's move on. So to start our class today, I'm going to be breaking this phase down. So before we can talk about game development, before we can talk about Scratch programming language, which is the tool we're going to be using for game development, we need to talk about what game is. If I ask you, just go to the comment section and tell me, what exactly do you think game is? Growing up, we have a lot of devices that we call game devices. We have the smaller version that we use for bricks game, that we use for war games, those ones that comes in pixels and all. We have that. We have a whole lot of PS and a whole lot of other devices Even we have device, by the time we started having Android devices, and the likes of Nokia came in there, and where we started having all these monochronic and different RGB color devices, we find out that games even comes with this phone. Why? Because games is important in every man's lives. It helps to sharpen your brain, it makes you a problem solver, and a whole lot more. So, but the question is, how is this game designed? That's the question. How is this game developed? What is the brain behind it? What is the algorithm behind it? And that is why, before we can dive into how it is designed, we need to first know what is game itself. Game is a structured activity with rules and goals, which means that it is designed for entertainment. Meaning, when you are bored, or possibly you are a little bit free and you don't know what to use the time for, what you can do is to get your phone or get your gaming device, sit down with it and entertain yourself. Games are naturally challenging because you have to move from one particular screen to the other. You need to avoid obstacles. You need to be watchful of the scores that you want to have. A whole lot of things. And learning, where players use skills like strategies or problem solving, either by playing it alone or with others. Now, I want to ask you a question, and I want you to use the comment section to answer that question. I want you to mention 2 different games you are familiar with, 2 different games that you are familiar with, and state their differences and comparison. We all know that different games, in fact, we can have different games at the same niche, but something is definitely different from one another. There is always a particular difference among the thousands of games that we have. For example, a soccer 2005 cannot be compared with soccer 2024. You see that a whole lot of updated players have been added to it. A whole lot of features or dribbling skills have been added into it, and the likes like that. We have cricket, we have war games, we have bricks games, and we have a whole lot of games like that. They all have their differences, and that is why I'm saying that use comment section, talk about the 2 games that you love playing the most and tell me the difference between them. I have a gift, and there are a lot of gifts that will be won in this first section. Alright, so since we have been able to talk about what game is, then what is game development? If we understand what game is, then we should be able to understand how do we develop the game. Now, game development is the process of creating video games. It involves several stages, including planning, including designing, that's number 2, including programming, including testing, and finally launching. Now, we know that if you want to start any event anywhere, you need to plan. If you are traveling tomorrow, you need to plan. If you are going to the market, even if you want to sleep in the night, you need to plan. If you're going to work, you need to plan. And that is the same way game development works. By the time you are ready to start to make a game, you need to first sit down and plan. What game are you making? What is the reason for you? What is the storyline at the back of this game? How many sprites do you need? Who are going to be the obstacles? How are they going to function? You need to put a paper and pen work. You need to put them together and create something very, very standard before you now move into designing it, giving it a visual look. Then you move into programming it. Programming means giving it a set of instructions, giving the design a set of instructions to achieve the plan. Then also, by the time you are done with programming, we have the testing phase. Is the sprite working properly? Is the obstacle doing what it is instructed to do by the programmer? and also the designer, which was crafted by the planning team. Then by the time it is launched, you are ensuring that people have access to this platform publicly. Now, developers work on various aspects of a game, such as its mechanism, graphics, storylines, and also sound. Now, they go to create an interactive and engaging experience for players. Now, we are going to be looking at analyzing the definition of the game development, which I'm going to be breaking it down into 5 different stages. Now, these entire 5 different stages can be done by one person. Follow me. And if you have questions at this point, why not go to the comment section and ensure that you drop your question there. I'm going to be attending to questions massively. My eyes is always on my comment section, and I'll be attending to it massively. Now, a standard organization, a tech organization, always have people that do the brain work, which is in the planning team. That means if you are a visionary, you can think very well, you can put the pen and paper together and craft out something very spectacular. Why not? You are very, very good for the planning team. That's why you find out that tech today is not only those that go for computer science. Tech today is for everybody. You might be an educationist and you are into writing, and you are into writing of books, stories, and all of that. You are needed in game development, because your game or your story that you have crafted out can be converted into a game. All right, so you can be in a planning team. It is not important that you are in a programming team. What am I trying to say here is that when it comes to these 5 stages in game development, 4 stages are very, very important and cannot be underrated or a minus when it comes to game development. Now, it is either one person does everything, if the person is working on a low budget or does not have team or staffs. But when it's a proper standard organization, then that means that the planning team should be different from the designing team, and the designing team needs to be different from the programmers, and the programmers need to be different from the testing, and the testing needs to be testers need to be different from the people that are going to be in charge of launching onto platforms like Google Play Store and Android stores and every other gaming platform that we have worldwide, basically. All right, so I'm going to be going into each of these stages, and I'll be explaining explicitly what it all entails. Let's move on. Then game development for the planning stage. Now, the planning stage in game development is where developers outline the game concepts, audience, main goal, core gameplay mechanics like the movement, the puzzle, or the resource management to shape how players interact with the game. They also create documents, set timelines, and budgets that will be needed from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, and assign roles, planning and providing a clear roadmap for the rest of the development process. Now, let me tell you something. Just like the way the Bible said it, that when the foundation is destroyed, the righteous man can do nothing. When the people at the planning stage did not do a proper work, then you are giving headache to the designer, and you are giving a greater headache to the programmer. And at the end of it, the testers will not be able to enjoy, or they will definitely go back to the beginning. And that is why programming or development stage is a cycle. When there is a problem, it goes back to the beginning. Do we understand? It goes back to the beginning. So planning stage must be very, very, very taken seriously, and when it is done properly, it makes the other stages to be very easy. Now let me shock you with a statement. It is very important that you understand that being in the planning team does not mean that you will not have the basic knowledge of designing, and you not have the basic knowledge of programming, and you not have the basic knowledge of testing. Do you understand? This is what we're shaping your designing, your planning at the beginning to make the work more easier for the other team. Can we move further so that we'll not waste too much of time? The second stage is the designing stage. Now this is the part whereby the paper and pencil that has been used for the wireframe, trying to design, craft out drawings and all of that. In design, all of this is brought into visuals, whereby different tools, visual tools or designing tools are put in place and used to create all of this. All right. For example, we can say the characters can be called sprites. We can say the background can be called backdrops, and we can say we have sound and we have codes at the end of the day. All right. So the visuals only talks about the sprites. We can have color theme for our game, and which comes into visuals. We can have a story. We can have characters which are referred to as sprites. We can have different levels whereby the backdrop states the level. All of these are done during the designing stage. Then finally we have the particular stage that is highly important, but it is not as important as designing, and is also not as important as the planning stage. We call it the programming stage. All right, this is where instructions. What is programming? Programming is the act of you instructing a particular object, all right, in order to be able to do or carry out a particular task. That means the way we say to our children at home, when we wake up in the morning, greet. When you are going to bed, pray to God. And you see a child, when the child wake up in the morning, the child will greet. When the child is going to bed, the child will pray. So what do? We give the child instruction, and the child, being a serious child and being a child that takes instruction, what does the child do? The child listen and carry out the instruction. And we know that computer does not even have its own mind. What we instruct in the computer to do, or object in the computer to do, that is what it does. So what do we do by programming? We instruct the computer, we instruct the objects, we instruct the characters, we instruct the players, we instruct the sprites on what to do. And when we instruct them on what to do, what do? They do exactly what we ask them to do when we execute the project. Now the programming stage is the game development. The game development is where the developer writes codes that brings the game design mechanisms and visuals to life, making it interactive and playable. Programming language used for game development includes the following, but not limited to this. We have the C++, we have C#, we have Java, we have Python, we have JavaScript, we have Lua, we have Ruby, we have Swift, we have Objective-C, GD script, and finally we have Scratch. Now, for this particular project and in this particular channel, we are going to be starting with the last one here called Scratch. Let's move on first, and we'll get to that later. Now, the third stage is called the testing stage. The testing stage. After the planner has done the work, after the designer have finished their work, after the programmers are done with their work, the next stage is the testing stage. We need to test. What is the planner? What is the intention of the planner? What was the design that the designer did? Does it correlate? Does it answer what the designer has in mind, then what the programmer has done, is that the same thing that was put in place by the designer? All right, then also the tester confirms each of this thing. So what is the testing stage? The testing stage in game development is where developers check the game bugs. When we say bugs, is the same thing as errors and issues, to make sure it's made proper, it works properly, and is fun to play. Now, the last stage is what we call the launching stage. The launching stage is in game development is when the game is released to the public, making it available for players to download or possibly purchased. You know, I was telling you that this channel is made for not just for you to learn the skill, but to be able to learn how to monetize this skill. So why not? If you go to Google Play Store today, there are a lot of applications there that are paid application and has been bought and is continually bought by people. Why? Because the particular software, mobile software, gives value, and it is very, very important. Some you download the free version and they tell you to upgrade by putting their watermark, while some you just need to buy. You just need to buy. Most of these happen most times in Apple Play Store, whereby you need to buy some application or even drop your credit card for some application and all of that. So you will make money when you understand how to design. Gaming platform is the most wealthiest platform on earth, and it is good that you are here. So if you are enjoying what I'm doing for you here, if you are gaining value from this video, go down there and smash the like button. Go to the comment section and type there game development, and ensure that you smash the subscription button, smash it hard, and make sure you turn on your notification bell so that you can always gain content, gain value, and also you can also use that to appreciate me for the good work that I have started doing already and I've always been doing before. So I want you to also answer this question in the comment section. If you have a group, if you are grouped into 5 different development groups, which group will you choose and why? We have mentioned 5 different development group, and I've explained what each of the group does. All right, which group will you choose and why will you choose a particular group? For example, if you say, oh, I am very good in writing, I'm very good in ideas, I am a very good thinker, and I love to put pen on paper, that is the reason why I will choose planning in game development team. So let us know in comment section. Let us know in comment section so that we can be able to also look at people that we can pick by the time and most of the gaming companies, organization that may want to be starting in Nigeria. All right, so let's continue. So like I told you in the previous statement, we were talking about the programming aspect. I said that part of the programming languages I've used for game development is Scratch, and in this particular video we are going to be talking more on Scratch programming language. Now, why are we choosing Scratch programming language? I will tell you the reason. The reason is this. The reason for this is that Scratch is a blocky, high-level language, programming language used by beginners to develop games and animations. Used by beginners. So that means if you are just starting your journey in game development and animation, the best place to start is from Scratch. Not only that, if you are just starting your journey in programming language, the first place to start is Scratch programming language. Why? Because it uses what we call a blocky, high-level language codes. And when you say blocky, by the time you get to the coding section, you see it. Let me show you this first. Look at the left side, you have the Scratch code, and look at the right side, you have the Python code. Now from the left side, you can see the kind of codes that we have. Look at this particular part here. We have when loudness greater than 10. You can see it is written in English language, and you can understand because it is a high level language. And it is blocky in the sense that you can see how it is connected. You can see how this is connected like a puzzle. All right, then compare it with the Python code, whereby you need to write a equals 15, next line b equals 35, c equals a plus b, and print. Are you getting my point now? So that is in the test, yes, high level language test, but this is a block. So for you to be able to advance your knowledge in Python, you need to start from understanding the principle of programming using Scratch programming language. So as a beginner, if I should ask you, from Python to Scratch, as a beginner, your first month in programming, which one will you take? So I believe most of us will say, oh, I love to take Scratch programming language. Now, how does Scratch programming language interface look like? By the time I download the software, because I'm going to be showing you in the next video how to download, where to go and download the software, then after downloading the software, how to install the software, how to download the software, how to install the software, then after installing the software, the interface properly from the interface view. I'll be explaining that to you, where to see the software, how to download the software, installing the software, setting up the software and the likes like that, then designing your first game in Scratch programming language. We are going to be designing a lot of games, and to interest you, I will be dropping the documents for these games. So that means you're not just going to be watching the video alone. You will have a proper document that you can use to train people. You can use on your own channel. You can download and even give out to people. You can print it out and give out to people that can even train your church members. You can train them on this using my material and all of that. So materials will be available. If you go down to the description section of this video, you see a link to my website where you will download the material for free without paying a dime for it. So that is why I'm saying that don't forget, if you have not done it, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell, and also smash the like button. All right, so this is how the interface of Scratch programming language software looks like. Now at the first here we have what we call the code tab or the block palettes. When you click on any of this block, it will give you different sections of the codes. Then the second one that we have here is what we call the custom backdrop. The custom backdrop. Then we have the source for the sound, that's the sound tab. So when you click on each of these, they have their own specific work. We have where we call the code area. This is the place where you pick code from here and you drag into the code area. We have the scrolling bar for the code palette, and we have the scrolling bar for the sprite header. Then also every sprite that you are coding, you will see the icon of the sprite here, so that you can properly give instruction to any of the sprite that we have here. We have this as a sprite info panel. We have this particular button here is used to choose a sprite, and we have the second one that is used to choose the backdrop. Then we have the stage size, we have the sprites, and the list is endless. We are going in my next video, I will take you into downloading. I will take you into all of this. I'm going to show you how to do that, and even from the second video, you will be able to start up your programming journey using this Scratch programming language. Alright, so I have an assignment for you to round up this section. I believe you have learned something, I believe, and if you have questions, like I said, make sure you use the comment section, the chat box below. Drop your question there. I will answer your questions one after the other. You have an assignment, you have something you have a team to train, you have an online class where you want an assistance or you need help on anything, why not message me, contact me. My email will be available and you should be able to contact me, and we'll be able to help and achieve whatever thing that is your heart desire. Now the assignment is this: using the 5 stages discussed above, write out the scripts of your new game idea. All right, so we can see that from this section we are already using the 5 stages that we have discussed to create our own game, so that as we continue in the other section, you'll be learning tips in how to develop that your plan and how to develop that your planning idea that you have used paper and pencil to write down. You'll be able to start developing it from each of our videos coming next. And the best idea is going to be awarded a very, very big gift, and trust me on that. I don't joke on that, I don't play on that, trust me on that. So please ensure that all questions should be dropped in the comment section. I've said that already. Then also on our YouTube channel here, and all assignments should be submitted through my email. I'm going to be looking forward to see the first email that is going to be coming out, and I have a gift for that person, and I'm going to also be picking the best idea of all. So drop it at taiwo.damilola615@gmail.com. So this is where I draw the curtain. Like I said, thank you, I love you so much. Thank you for watching this video to the end, and I will also see you the next class, where we dive into Scratch programming language installation, interface, tour, and also designing our first game. Thank you, I love you, bye for now.